All right, well, let's head out to Toronto. Jamie McLennan joins us. He's your hockey insider today for Pro-Am Sports. They got signings right now coming up with Mike Krushelnyski and Ronnie Lowe. And, of course, home for the car flag during playoff season. Nobody loves a playoff run like a good old car flag, so you're going to have to go pick those up. ProAmSports.ca. Swing on by and see the boys on St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave. Noodles, good morning. Thank you very much for popping by. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. I wouldn't say I wish I was in Toronto. I'm in Florida. Which is not a bad situation. Called that game last night, did the Ottawa-Florida game, and then I'm flying to Tampa today to call a game tomorrow. But I don't know. I should ask you guys, how is the mood? How is the temperature with 97 right now?
Let me ask you this, Jamie. How do you think it would be in this city seeing that 2 weeks before playoffs? Like, as advertised, I would guess. No, look, they said day to day. Knobloch said it would be up to him, McDavid, if he was going to play. So it doesn't sound that bad, obviously. But considering how healthy this team has been pretty much the entire season, among the best in the league for man games lost, they've not had many guys miss any sort of significant time. Just to see something like this pop up 2 weeks before the playoff starts has to be a little concerning, right?
It does, because timing is everything. And to win the Stanley Cup, to go deep in the playoffs, and even give yourself a chance, you need health. And you not only need health, but you need health of your top players. It's a little different if a fourth line guy gets nicked up and, for lack of better words, you can plug and play those guys. There's no plug and playing McDavid. It's you can, Draisaitl's going to step up, RNH, guys like that. You have depth. There's no doubt that you have depth, but nobody's replacing 97. What you're trying to do is just hold the place for him to come back. And how good he's played lately, you don't know if it's something that he's been playing with for a long time and it just flared up. But I watched that game the other night, and, I kept thinking to myself, like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, do we go back? Do we look at his shifts? Is there one particular thing where, I know he stayed down one shift a little bit, and near the end, I think it was about 4 minutes left, he had a little burst to the middle, and it looked like somebody fell on his leg. And so I'm trying to figure out, okay, what is it? But that's the unfortunate part being on this side of the curtain, is we have no idea what's going on with him. You just hope that he's able to be able to get it together. Not only for the stretch, because I would like to see him be available for a couple reasons. There's still a chance you can catch Vancouver. Tonight's a huge game. So if you win tonight, you're 3 points back with a game against Vancouver and a game in hand as well. So, if that pipe dream is gone, then you got to focus on whether you're playing LA or Vegas. But if you could get that top spot, there's a chance you could play Nashville. And again, you don't sleep on any team, but that might be a different path than LA or Vegas.
Well, Noodles, we discussed earlier in the show today. I mean, you can kind of, yes, McDavid's a great player. He'll be out here for a little while, but with that comes opportunity for some guys. And lines yesterday saw Kane back in the top six. Leon Draisaitl obviously takes that 1C spot. But what a psychological boon it would be for this team, too, in the absence of their leader and their captain and arguably their best player, to go out tonight, maybe do something against Vegas, and with the division still in their hands. But who would you see kind of, I mean, let's just take tonight for an example. Golden Knights in town. We all know the history with these two teams. Is it Kane back in that top six? Is it maybe as simple as an answer of Leon Draisaitl? But who steps up and grabs this thing tonight for the Oilers?
I would love to see 91. I'd love to see Kane do it. I've said this before on this show. I think he's instrumental for success in the playoffs, because you know what 97 and 29 are capable of, but he's a unicorn. Kane is a guy that is a handful when he's got a growl on, because no top six player is fighting him. So when he's on the ice, he's going to be a difference maker. Then, you need to get the hands and the feet going. I've been a little disappointed with his decision-making with the puck, but that comes with confidence. And I think if he gets a little bit of confidence here, maybe an expanded role, feels important, feels like he's contributing, that's what you need at the right time the last 2 weeks of the season. Is this guy healthy and feeling good about his game? So, yes, I'll circle Kane. And it might just come down to, hey, if it's a close game tonight, you might need the goalie to go, hey, I need to show Vegas that I can beat you. And, Stuart Skinner still has something to prove against Vegas because he didn't have his best series last year. And it might just be the goalie goes, doesn't matter what you guys got in front of me. I'm going to take this one.
Man, the overreaction one way or the other to this game tonight, and the end result is going to be the post-game show tonight is going to be insane, and tomorrow morning is going to be pretty crazy as well with the Oilers and the Golden Knights.
Just another Wednesday in Edmonton,
yeah,
such as last week against the Stars too.
Definitely. I mean, as long as McDavid's healthy come playoff time, that's really all that matters. The interesting thing right now is this race for the Hart Trophy and the Art Ross Trophy. Like, if you look at these guys, and obviously it looks like McDavid won't be playing tonight. I know Matthews scored again last night. His push to 70 is very legitimate right now. McKinnon had 3 last night, hit 50 for the first time in his career. 2 of them, his speed, just absolutely ridiculous. And Kucherov has 3 points in 4 consecutive games. Like, nobody's letting up. This is highly entertaining, man. I love this.
It is, and I'm a voter, so I'm.
Good luck.
I've got skin.
Good luck.
I've got skin in the game. You're right. I think there's really a 4-pack because, let's say McDavid misses 1 or 2 games, but he gets the 100 assists. He ends up, right in the mix. He's still, a Hart Trophy finalist. I don't know. I look at McKinnon. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said it was McKinnon, kind of hands down. And then Kucherov, if you look at some of the past history, like Braden Point is having an amazing season. I just was doing their stats this morning. So Braden Point has 86 points. He's got 44 goals. Kucherov has 139 points. If you do the math, like, it's almost 50 points difference. And here's a guy who, to me they had the goaltender injury at the start of the year with Vasilevsky, to a point they were starting a guy named Matt Tompkins, his first NHL start. And Jerry Johansson, I call him, that the other goaltender, Johansson. And, for me, that they didn't have any goaltending. Sergachev with a season-ending injury. Chernak's missed time. Sorelli's missed time. Like, this is a team that I think would be nowhere near a playoff run if it wasn't for Kucherov. To me, that's the definition of most valuable player. And 70 goals is amazing for Matthews, but there's a trophy for that. It's called the Rocket Richard. Yeah. And for points alone, there's an Art Ross. And I make an argument, well, Connor Hellebuck should be in the conversation, and people go, well, there's a Vezina for that. Well, yeah, you're right. There's a trophy for all of these things, but the Hart is the most valuable player to the team, most valuable player to the league. And, for me, it's still a 4-person race. And we'll see how this shakes out kind of the last week of the season. But, in my mind, I feel like it's Kucherov and McKinnon, and then you throw Matthews and McDavid kind of right in there as well. It'll be an interesting one.
Jamie McLennan with us on the show this morning, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. As of this morning, the Islanders and Capitals holding down those 2 playoff spots out in the East that you're not sure anybody really wants. Ovechkin hits 30 for the 18th time in his career. In what's been a down season, he still goes out and buries 30. Do you lean one way or the other here? Like, does Patrick Waugh get the Islanders in? Is it Ovi and the Caps? Does Sid finish off this incredible job for the Penguins? Pretty sure it's not going to be the Flyers. Nothing against Torts and what he's got going on there. But how do you sort that out?
You know what? It changes. My mind changes every day. Because I'm like, okay, the Islanders are done. And then all of a sudden, it's Varlamov dragging them in.
They've won 5 in a row now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's, you look at Washington. I did their game the other night. They pissed away a point against Ottawa where they were up 2-1 and they end up losing 3-2 in overtime. I think Pittsburgh would be a great story. And, I know in Toronto, there's some people that want to see Dubas fail. That's just the pettiness of the ex type of thing, wanting to see the ex not have a good looking boyfriend. But I think Sidney Crosby has helped drag that team right there. He would be a guy who has to be in Hart consideration, maybe on the outside, but still.
Of it, yeah.
But it's amazing. I feel bad for Philadelphia. Like I feel like wheels have just fallen off. They can't get a save. It might as well be me in there playing stand-up net. It's terrible. The narrative's going to be the players quit on torts and all of that. This team had no business. You look at that team on paper, they have no business even being.
Yeah, they're still way ahead of where I thought they would be this season.
Exactly.
Still a win, yeah.
Exactly. But it's Detroit is interesting for me too, because they were sitting pretty about a month and a half ago. And then the wheels have kind of fallen off them with Alex Lyon and James Reimer. It's been a rough go. So I say the Islanders can do it. And then I would love to see Pitt, but I just don't know if they have enough juice to get it over the line. I would still like to see Detroit for some reason, but I just don't know if they've got enough. Like I can't tell you that's the team that's going to do it. But I think the Islanders are going to be one of them. And then the other team, it's going to be who actually wins the last game of the season, because all of these other teams are just giving it away. They're just handing it back.
Noodles, before we let you go, we were talking about the over 57,000 hot dogs eaten in Toronto last night in 7 innings. And then somebody's like, hey, you guys heard about this 9 innings, the 9-inning challenge where you eat 9 dogs, have 9 beers in 9 innings. Do you take a legitimate run at that? Like, do you think you could take a run at that or no?
Is it the heroin beer that is served at
like the little drafts? Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
No, I mean, they'd be wheeling me out of there like Hannibal Lecter if it was 9 of those heroin beer. The 9 dogs too, like that is, you're going to be Harry Dunn on the porta potty as well. So I don't know. I mean, I'd take a run at a couple dogs.
Yeah.
If you said 9 vodka or 9 double vodka,
100%.
But the beer is bloating and the dog's floating around in there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it. I would try on my best days, but I wouldn't make it. There would be, I know a few, I grew up with a few pigs in Edmonton that absolutely would be all over that. Like guys that would just destroy 9 dogs and destroy 9 beer and be looking for more, be looking for more and be mad about the price of it too. So why is it so expensive? Like what's going on?
You didn't have to have 9. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It'd be like, okay, I'll just round it up to 10. Like I'm going to have the 10th one. I'm going to have a 10th beer and a 10th dog, but it wouldn't happen for me.
Noodles, have a good game, man. And we'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks for having me, guys.
There you go. That's Jamie McLennan working a game last night in Florida. Senators losing there 2-0, heading off to Tampa will be next on the radar for them. I'm with them. I could take down 9 double spice rum and Diet Cokes in 5 innings.
That's
Not even worried. Like, just give it to me all in one jug. Take 9 of them, pour it into one jug, and just let me sit there with it.
A 2-liter of Coke.
And a 2-6.
A lot of pop.
And that's it. Just
It's the pop that gives you the hangover.
yeah. Exactly.